Okay, this picture was like when they were actually caught in the Tista River. Okay, it's a fast flowing river in northern Bengal. It's an alligator which is beautiful also. You see, Sukatio and Balitora, somebody might say they are not beautiful, but when you look at a Gara Gotiala in its true splendor, you know, it's just so fantastic looking fish. Okay, and the only problem with this fish is that this is a very good alligator, no doubt about it, but they grow big. They can grow big up to 5 to 6 inches in the wild. I'm sure in our aquariums they will never grow big. But guys, you can give it a try. It's really a beautiful alligator. Okay. I'll move to the shrimp and the invertebrate. This is a picture from a Baksa Tiger Reserve in northern West Bengal. It's a typical Caridina habitat. You can get a lot of shrimps. In fact, you can get a lot of shrimps around our full country. But this is an area where very colorful shrimps are found. The first one, though, is not found there. Okay. This is called a red-nosed Pinocchio's shrimp. Okay. In fact, this shrimp is also found in some places in Southeast Asia also. It's not that it is typically endemic of India only. It's found in this particular specimen was collected from Hooghly River in Nadia district in West Bengal. What happens? Hooghly is a very, very big river, and there are certain natural canals which gets formed in the sides. There are some aquatic vegetation there, and you have got overhanging trees, the branches, etc., going into. Okay, and actually, what happens is that this particular species it eats the fallen leaves in the water. Okay, and there are certain specific trees which I'm not an expert botanist, but then there are certain trees which is available, and there are certain pigments in the leaves which give this reddish color to this fish. This is also a photograph from one of my aquarium, and this is a fantastic alligator. Fantastic. It can even compete with Amano shrimp, the famed Amano shrimp. Okay, and another thing which is very characteristic, it's very similar to what an Amano shrimp does. It's like these guys also goes to the sea for spawning. Okay, and then the babies come back. So from the Hooghly River, it goes down to the Bay of Bengal, and that's where they typically spawn in brackish water. Okay. This is called from the Caridina bobalti rainbow family. Okay, this particular variety, there is another story to this. When I was speaking to Andrew about the shrimp, what he told is that rainbow shrimps are found everywhere in North Bengal. The river that I showed you, the Golani River and all, about 60 to 70 kilometers from there is a dead creek. In the sense, it was part of a river at times, sometime. Now it is not a part of a flowing river. So what has happened? The traditional rainbow has kind of done, maybe this is our guess. The scientists might, actually do a better job. They can actually find it out. But we believe a lot of inbreeding has happened. So if you can see the contrast in the two pictures, on the right you have that typical wide, saddleback kind of a thing. So we are calling it as Caridina bobalti rainbow saddleback. Okay, because of that characteristic broad dorsal stripe. So when inbreeding happens, this kind of mutants start coming up. Okay, so that this particular specimen was collected from that river which doesn't have any flow at this moment. These guys are not. While I put it here, it's not an alligator, but it's a fantastic specimen to keep. Look at this, another beauty from the same area. It's called Caridina bobalti green. This is not a matured specimen. When it becomes matured, you can look at near the head. It's getting that military green color. So after some time, the complete body gets this kind of military green. We know that we are so fond of crystal reds and crystal blacks, but look at the kind of beauty that we have in our country. Okay, and look at the vibrant green color. It can put to shame any of these RCSs and CRSs and CBSs. Okay. This is a standard Malaya shrimp, we call it, found all through West Bengal, Northeast and up to the Myanmar border. A picture from Sourav's tank. Okay, another invertebrate. I know that we are talking about aquascaping, but yesterday we, Albert talked a lot about paludarium, and Adip also showed us the Dua, Paluda 60 system. If you really want to keep a specimen, which you can keep the Dua system, maybe this is a purple crab. I don't know whether they are endangered or not. This one was collected somewhere near India-Bhutan border. In fact, it's a hilly crab. It's a hilly crab. It's found in waterfalls. If you come to my gallery in Calcutta, I have a couple of them, and my team was telling me today morning they have bred also. So there are some babies in my small paludarium that I have. A fantastically colored specimen. You can see the purple color, okay, with the orangish legs. Okay, it's a very hardy specimen. Okay, we feed them with Australian blackworms and they relish it actually. Okay, I hope guys, Stephen, I hope the session is interesting and
very interesting. We're watching the comments coming in. I think there are people who are planning a trip to your part of the country, so you're going to be a busy man, Gautam.
Thank you. This is an unidentified macrobrachium species. Just a few days back, we got this, and it's a photo. It's a blue color. Not a very good photograph, but thought of sharing it anyway. Pratham took this pic. Okay, this is a cute little fish. Snails. Snails are no enemy. Snails have a role to play, but obviously, in our aquascapes, we are sometimes faced with snail problem. This is a pea puffer, as we call it. It comes from Kerala. Okay, it's an excellent snail eater, but it's actually Carinotetradon travancoricus, the pea puffer. It also has a close, cousin by the name. Dr. Bhargav can actually correct me even, please. I'm no scientist, and they can do much better than me. But it's Carinotetradon imitator. Okay, that's another variety which is found similar. Sometimes they get mistaken together. One German scientist, I've forgotten, who actually told that they are not the same species, they're actually different species. This is a cute fish. I have kept them in my tank, but I have stopped keeping them because I am given to, I have learned that they are getting endangered in Kerala, and we as hobbyists, we should not support over exploitation of fish. So, but when I kept them, I saw that they do very well in planted tanks, but moment they don't get their share of snails in the tank, obviously you don't want to put in snails in your tank intentionally. They start nipping the fins of other fish. So a naughty, cute baby. Let me put it that way. Okay, fantastic fish. Actually, it's rather unfortunate that it's being it's endangered. And I think we as hobbyists, we can try and do some captive breeding program. Maybe some of you guys who are much more knowledgeable than in fish can try it out. This can be an excellent addition in our aquariums. Moving to the display fish, I talked about the algae eaters, the snail eaters. This is again a picture from, I think it's from Shankosh River, it's India-Bhutan border. You can see all the cryptocorynes. Okay, this is how they grow. Yesterday, Albert was telling that most of the aquatic plants. While I'm not speaking about plants here, but they are not truly aquatic, and you can well understand that acclimatizing a cryptocoryne like this underwater is not an easy task. I think Albert was talking about it. I just thought I'll mention.
Yes.
Okay, this fish comes from Kerala. It's called green panchaks. Panchaks is a family that we all are familiar with. Okay, we have seen it in our ponds and rivers and everywhere. It kind of swims on the top. But the reason I'm mentioning this fish out here is that I have seen, the left is from my own tank. It actually goes down also. It's not that it will always move on the top, and it has got this characteristic green color. You can see those dots. On the right side, it was a more whitish light, and left side it was a more yellowish light. So you can, in the left side, you can understand its light green color and the the spots. So this is and it's a hardy specimen. It takes aquarium food also pretty easily. Not a problem there. This fish is one of my most favorite. Orythis casuartis. It's called an hyphen barb. It's found in slow-moving rivers. I'll show you a habitat picture shortly in the Kuch Bihar district of West Bengal. Trust me, when it cools, and I've tried my best to give you a picture, but I don't know, I think a macro lens would have done more justice. You can see those scales with that black line and with that dwarf fin standing out. When they cool in a planted tank, it's a sight to see. I don't know whether I'm able to actually explain. I wish that you guys keep them and you can actually enjoy them with your own eyes, and you will definitely understand. And they are very, very peaceful fish, unlike any barb. They don't do any damage to any other fish. A very, very nice specimen to keep. Ornithis crenocoids, it's called a drape fin bud. These are the males. You can see that expanded dorsal fin. Okay, it's like, the sari ka pallu. It's like a drape. Okay, it falls. As the males become more mature, the fin becomes bigger and bigger, and you can easily differentiate from a female. Again, comes from northern Bengal. Again, loves a planted setup. Very peaceful fish to keep. From the schooling perspective, not as good a schooler as a high fin bob, but no less. It's a great one fish to keep. Okay, a cute little gem. Okay, it's a part of the Badis family. It's called Dario. Pratham took this picture, but I unfortunately couldn't look at a picture that I had where you can actually make it out, like how red they are. Very small fish, this tiny. You can keep a small of, a shoal of them in a nano aquascape. But again, unfortunately, they don't take, our prepared food or our aquarium food that easily. You have to have a culture of Daphnia or a, brine shrimp hatchery if you want to. So this is not for, don't try to keep this fish or buy this fish if you don't have a live food source with you. You will end up killing this fish. I thought that I must mention this. Okay, it is absolutely reluctant to take any aquarium food. I've tried out a lot. Finally, to keep them, I had to go for brine shrimps and daphnias. This is the habitat. Look at the habitat. It's an aquascape by itself. You can just imagine the white stream. You can imagine the cryptocorynes. You can see on the left side, cryptocoryne galore. Can you guys see who is there? I'm sorry, there was somebody knocking on the door.
That's okay, Gautam.
Okay. So, and you can see the bamboo on that, the bamboo leaf. So if you see the water, it's a blackwater habitat actually. Okay. And one point that I must tell you, that when you collect this, especially the native shrimps, okay, when you see the native shrimps, they are very prone to diseases. Okay. Because when you put in your aquarium water, they are not acclimatized. They are not at all acclimatized. And it is good to have some, black water. So whether you can use your almond leaves, sorry for that. And I use a product called salty shrimp black water. I get it from Germany. I mix it in water. They have got some antibacterial properties also in that particular product. What happens, I've seen, because shrimps, you cannot give medicine. Any typical aquarium medicine will have copper and it will instantly kill the shrimps. Okay. So it's better to have a black water source, especially a product like salty shrimp black water powder. It will help you to keep this, keep this shrimp.
It will help them acclimatize to your tank.
Right. Okay.
So you did mention that almond leaves also would work or help.
The almond leaves will definitely work, but you have to understand that an almond leaf is also it's going to degrade.
Yes.
It is going to degrade in water and it might increase the nitrate levels. So you should be changing water quite frequently. Otherwise, shrimps can't tolerate high nitrates. Okay. That's why I found that prepared product well, because it doesn't affect. It doesn't have, it's nothing to degrade actually. But anyway, I'm not trying to talk about products out here. Maybe we can discuss it later. Okay, guys, can you look at the fish here?
Yes.
Okay, it's called an Indian live fish. Beautiful underwater photograph taken by Sourav. I had to take the picture from him. Look at the camouflage. Okay, when you again, this is a predatory fish. Okay, if you keep it with very small rasboras and all, it will feast on them rather. Okay, so but when you take it out of water, it has got a black and white stripe. It's got a very characteristic black and white stripe. Very beautiful fish to keep in a planted tank. But be very careful that you don't have. It's a piscivorous. Okay, you should not be having very small fishes. Okay. This is again a picture of, I'll tell you why I'm showing this picture. You can, a couple of slides later, this was an inspiration for me to set up this aquarium behind me, where I tried to imitate our water bodies found in West Bengal. In fact, I have some lilies here also. They are growing inside. This is the tank picture. Anyway, the tank is right there in back. Not a very great picture, but while we have many different flora from different, we have ferns and you can see glossostigma, you can see Ranunculus inundatus, Blixa also is there, Cyperus helferi, lilies. But I made it a point that all the fish here are Indian fish. There is nothing, I think a couple of Siamese alligator was there. Apart from that, each fish here is an Indian fish, okay? Some of them, okay, we all want schooling fish, okay? When you take an aquascape photograph, you need a tight schooling group, moving in your aquarium. Labuka Dadi Burjuri from aquarist whom I respect a lot, Mr. Dadi Burjur from Bombay. He has done seminal work in Indian fish. He made Indian fish quite popular. It's named after him. It's endemic of Kerala and found in streams, slow flowing, medium flowing streams. It shows beautifully. Okay. The bottom right picture is from one tank, where they were shoaling on the top. And when I took this pic, the top picture on the left is a male. You can see those 3 dots on the body, and the right is a female. Okay, thanks to Andrew, he helped me to differentiate between these two. The right is a female. The dots are not there. It's almost like a single line, and a thicker body, right? A beautiful fish. It's a hardy fish. It takes aquarium food very easily. Acclimatizes very well in aquarium. The other shoaling fish, which is a mid-ground, while Labuka tends to swim on the top, this is a mid-ground shoaler. This is called Horadendia britannia. Okay, a very small fish. It looks like a green rasbora. I am not ichthyologist. I don't know whether it comes from a rasbora. It's definitely a cyprinid, okay, but it might be a part of the rasbora family. Okay, a tight schooling fish suitable for aquascapes. Okay, it swims in the middle portion. These are all there in this tank behind me actually. Before I move, this is another photograph taken by Sourav in South Bengal. It's a place called Shamkhola in south of West Bengal. On the top right, you can see some Pythia species. I will tell you. I'll tell you, I have the fish here in I had to take some water. My throat is drying out. Look at this. Here is the picture in the wild. You can make out the utricularia. I think Adip could surely make out the utricularia there. It's not the utricularia graminifolia. It's a different utricularia species which is found in the ponds. This is a picture in my tank here. Okay, interesting. I would like to spend some time here. Okay, look at the left. The normal yellow with the black, this is called Pythia caneus. Okay, there are other members like Pythia gileus and other members from the same family. Make out you see this red color. I am given to believe by Andrew and other experts that this is very rare to see in the wild. This red coloration has formed in this aquarium behind me. Okay, this definitely they have the DNAs to give this red coloration. It is what gives you a pleasure as an aquarist, that you have been able to create an environment. Okay, we have ADA soil in the bottom. Okay, and we are using also the ADA AP series food. Okay, it's a fantastic food to give to your fish here, which gives this brilliant coloration. Okay, the yellow is what you normally find. The red is what has formed in the aquarium out here. Okay, again found in places where I showed you the photograph. Lots of aquatic vegetation can be kept in a tank very easily. A hardy specimen, okay, takes the aquarium food very easily and looks beautiful. You can try it out and make it look like this red. Now I showed you a lily picture, like my inspiration for this tank. This is a lily which bloomed in this aquarium. Okay, I saw in Adip's gallery where lily was blooming, so I thought also why not give it a try, and that's where I got an inspiration. And look at this color. And okay, credit largely goes to 2 products. I must mention it. One is definitely solar RGB, which is giving this vibrant color. Okay, other is our bottom plus. Okay, because lilies, when you keep in an aquarium like this, it will eat the soil very, very fast. Very thick root system. I know I'm digressing from my topic of aquascaping and fish in aquascaping. The bottom plus is very important to give it this kind of a color. Okay, what do you think, Stephen? Looks good?
It looks wonderful, Gautam. Don't worry, you're doing just fine, and we're here to listen to your knowledge, your experience. Have a good time. We're enjoying ourselves over here.
Thank you. Thank you. Haluderia fasciata, not a good picture. Melon bar. Pardon me for my typing mistake there. It's melon, it's not MLEON. Okay, again found in Karnataka and Kerala. Interesting story here. Okay, I have seen this fish in some of the ADA gallery. Okay, big things. This can be kept in planted aquarium, no problem, but you need to have a largish tank. You cannot keep it in a very small tank. It grows slightly big. And the thing is that you can look at the scientific name, Haludaria fasciata. So actually, what happened, there is a traditional fisherman community here in Bengal. You must have heard about Hilsa. They are the traditional Hilsa catchers in the Padma rivers and in Bangladesh. And they are coming from this community called Hauldar. And in Bengali, we have a surname called Haldar also. It seems that, I don't know why they took up fish from South India and they tried to give it a name. Maybe Dr. Bhargav can tell us the story behind it. But, it seems that they got this thing from, Haludaria, and they named the fish after the community there.
It's just all about the nutritional value that has. Even the Kolisa Lalia is having a high nutritional value. The people, right. The West Bengal people, they'll eat more.
Right.
I mean, you know best, and we can let the viewers know also. In Bengal and in Kerala, we eat, live, everything fish. So fish is fish. It's a big part of our lives.
This is another picture from my tank. It's a fish that I have kept, it's called Narayan Bab. Scientific name Petia setnai, named after ichthyologist Setnai, Dr. Setnai, I think. It's found in Western Ghats, getting endangered. The beauty of this fish is that it's one of those barbs which gets, blue color during its mating season. Okay. You can see some of them that blue is coming. It was taken somewhere during the COVID time, around June, July. Don't mistake it on the right side. It's actually a diamond tetra. It's again on a favorite fish on mine, the top right. But it gets a blue band when it's in the mating period. Okay, a fantastic fish. But do remember one thing: it can be kept in planted tank, no problem. But it tends to, it's an alligator also. By the way, I have seen it eating algae. Okay, it's a herbivore. So what happens? It sometimes unintentionally rather ends up in pulling out some plants. So if it's not a mature tank, if your carpet has not formed fully, you should not be introducing it, because it will end up pulling out some of the plants. This is among the two cousins of betta that we find in India. It's a spike-tail paradise fish. The other is the brown paradise. Aggressive fish, beautiful fish. You can see the blue color. A great pic taken by Pratham. Best kept in a species tank like your betta. All of us are very, very fascinated with betta. I would suggest that why don't you look at this Indian beauty and try to keep it in a betta-like habitat. But they are aggressive. Okay. You must keep that in mind. I think this is what Dr. Bhargav was talking about, the Colisa lila. It's a Trichogaster family. Among 4 species of Trichogaster, it's a Gorami family which is found in India. Brilliant fish. I have seen it in many aquascapes in the West, but unfortunately we are not using them. A very, very peaceful fish. You can make them bred. I have bred them easily in my aquarium. Okay, try them out. You can see the color. It's a male, by the way. Obviously, you need the females are not that colorful. They are rather drab in color, but you must have a lot of female for it to show you this kind of color. Another schooling fish. It's an Indian glass fish. When I was a kid, we have this in Calcutta. We had this 2 Tamil gentlemen. I still remember them around Esplanade. They used to sell fish in bottles. Okay. That's first where I saw this Indian glass fish. It was very popular at that time. Okay, you can keep them in your tank they flock very nicely. Do remember, while it schools nicely, it also has this tendency to nip. Okay, it has a nipping tendency. Better kept in a specimen only planted tank if you want to keep them. I don't know how many of you have seen this fish. It's Pseudolagavia ferrugina. Found in Assam and Northeast India, a stone catfish family, this small. Okay, it's a nocturnal fish. Okay, I took this photograph when the lights were on, but basically it likes to dig, okay, into the soil a little bit. Doesn't take aquarium food easily. You must have live food, but it's a seriously cute looking fish. Okay, again kept in a specimen only tank. It's algae, by the way. Okay, I think I hope that, because I know Balazs and all of you are waiting for Balazs's session, so I am trying to complete it, as I think I've got another 10-15 minutes left with me. These two fish, I've started keeping them lately. It's if you want to make a, say, a 6 feet or a 10 feet large aquascape, and you want to have a schooling fish, okay, you can look at that Opsarius barna or Opsarius vagra. Opsarius barna is on the top, vagra is on the bottom. Vagra is smaller. We call it, I don't know what's the right name, we call it lemon striped hill trout. Needs flow in the water. You know, thrives very well in a planted tank, because if you can give them the cold water, and plants also love cold water, a great combination. Okay. Only thing is that locally they are known as Saat Dagi and 11 or Gyara Dagi, because the top one, that is Opsarius barna, I'm sorry for that, it has got 7 stripes. Okay, and in the bottom it has got 11 stripes. Okay, one thing is that the barna is definitely a piscivorous. If you want to keep this fish, don't keep it with smaller cardinal tetras or neon tetras. Its jaw will open like this and simply take the fish in. I think I saw a picture of a fish similar to this in one of the latest aquascapes. If you want to create an aquascape which resembles a hill stream, you put big boulders like Amano, and I think Homa is also doing some scapes with some Cyperus helferi and Vallisenidia kept. This will suit that kind of with some white La Plata sand in the front. It will suit perfectly in that kind of a scape if you want to create. And by the way, it tastes very well. Stephen was talking about we Bengalis like to eat fish. Trust me, it will taste better than hilsa. I'm sorry, but I had to mention that. I have tasted in Assam. I know it's a great fish to eat also. Okay. I'm not going to talk about this. All of us know about Denisoni. Can be kept both in a planted tank and a non-planted tank. While I talked about fishes suitable for aquascape, I'll just spend 5 minutes on some of this. This is a South Indian biotope that I have in my gallery. All fishes, most of them are from South India except the loach. Okay, beautiful fishes. Okay, obviously I have Denisonis. Okay, this is orange kurmite. Okay, found in Tamil Nadu. A great fish. Look at its blue eyes. It's one of those cichlids found in India. It's from the cichlid family. Dawkinsia rohani, named after the scientist, Richard Dawkins. Okay, Western Ghats, hill streams of Kanyakumari district. Schools very nice, but it's a big fish. There are reports that it's getting endangered, so you must check it out whether and keep them. But you can make out that bluish color and on the spots on the head. A great fish to keep, and a very hardy one. I have them for more than 1 year now. Okay. This is the loach I was talking about, a recent introduction. It's called zipper loach from Northeast India. The body has got that zipper. You have got the zippers in, it looks like a zipper. It's a very good loach to keep. I think that's kind of, I'm nearing my presentation. I have one last surprise here before I try and end. Before that, how do you think, Stephen? Like, have I overshot my time, or have got some 10 minutes?
Absolutely not. We've got questions coming in, so we've got about another 10, maybe 12 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, something between that. Okay. Great. So actually, we can take it a little longer, because it seems like, from what I can tell, your presentation is a hit. We got a lot of questions coming in. People are very interested to know about our Indian fish. So we're absolutely on it. You're hitting the right notes. Just keep going, Gautam. When you're done with your presentation, we'll move to the Q&A.
Thank you. So because I also don't want to, because I am also waiting to see Balazs and Luca. Okay, because I am a fan of Brazilian style aquascape. I am just waiting for the session. I'll not take much time.
No, take your time. We've got enough time. I've just got a wave from Ratan, who's told us it's okay. We're absolutely where we're supposed to go, where we're supposed to be as far as schedule is concerned. So just relax. Let's all enjoy ourselves. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
Carry on, Gautam.
Because I talked about community aquarium, here is the last fish photo that I want to do. This I was saving the best for the last. Okay, look at this. It's called Chana bipuli. It's found in Northeast India, Meghalaya. It's a Chana species. While we are all aware of Chana barka, the famed Chana barka, which is I think the costliest Indian ornamental fish which is exported. Okay, this is from Meghalaya. The beauty is that, okay, it has to be kept in very cold water. Okay, you need to keep it in cool waters. Okay, and that's where the fun is. So if you want to create an aquas, and in I'm given to believe, I have not gone to the habitat where this is found. There are ferns also, and there are aquatic vegetation in the habitat. So if you want to create a planted Chana habitat, planted Chana aquascape, a large scape, okay, give this fish a try. It's a brilliant fish to look at. Okay, it can coexist with vegetation, but you must keep the water cold. So you will need a chiller, definitely to keep this fish. I'm planning to keep one, and I'll create an aquascape with it, and I'll definitely share some videos and photos. Okay, it's a great fish, and there is another one. I think it's coming up. It's called Chana Gold Dust. While this has got more blue, that has got more yellow. Okay, a golden yellow hue on the top. It's another variant of this particular species, actually. Okay, this actually kind of brings to the end of my species that I wanted to discuss. There are many more species. As I told you, 400 odd species. Okay, it will take days to describe all of them. But before that, I thought that I must end my species selection here. One thing, I want to go to the habitat destruction. Okay, look at this place. I visited this place. It's a natural water body in Shamkhola in southern. Many of the fish pictures that you have seen, especially the Chandaranga, the Colisa Laila, the Pythia caneus, okay, Pythia gilius. They're all found here. Okay, this picture was taken 3 years back. Okay, and look at it now. Human grid, like I think I was moved by Andre's presentation yesterday. Wabi Sabi, we are not happy. Look at the same, lake. Look at its state now. You can find that concrete. Actually, high rise is coming. This place is quite close to Kolkata. Some high rise is coming. Lake is gone, and with that, God knows how many species. So I think I have taken it up that I will do more videos on this. Trying to. And I am Sourav is a person who is going to help me with it, okay, to document the places and how it's getting destructed. Okay, I just thought, and I am also like for jute industry in North Bengal, what we are given to believe is that people are taking jute and they are putting into those streams, those pristine streams. What happens is the jute is rotting and the fish is getting destroyed. So one side is economy. Yes, we need economy, we need money flowing in, but we must have a responsible economy also. Okay. I just thought I must mention the habitat destruction. And there is one last slide that I wanted to show, and this is a word of caution. Okay, all these are beautiful. Okay, but as I said, the first point, you must be very careful about a species. Remember, even if you take out a shrimp from its habitat, the shrimp has a role to play there. If you end up over exploiting or you doing something out of your enthusiasm, I'm not telling for business need, or maybe we all want to keep them, you might disturb the balance. Okay. Second thing is that try and understand the habitat. I have seen many people take shrimps which are coming from shallow waters, who are creatures coming from shallow water. They can't take too much of water pressure. The body is not designed for that. You go and put it in a 2 feet deep aquascape. Okay, it's no wonder that they will die. So if you want to work with native fishes, you must understand their habitat very nicely, the water chemistry, what kind of water they come from. Are they coming from black water? You put it in a hard water habitat, finished. Okay, that's why. And other thing is that you need to be very careful in introducing wild caught fish in your aquarium, because they might be carrying certain disease which your aquarium fish might get exposed to. Maybe they have got some resistance. Aquarium fish may not be, and vice versa. Okay. While we all are enthusiastic about taking in native fish and putting it in our aquarium, we must be equally you must ensure we don't take your aquarium fish and throw it in thing. We all know what plecos are doing, what kind of, Dr. Bhargav can tell that ichthyologists in India, they are very concerned about the pleco invasion in our natural water bodies. People, it's getting devastated. And not only that, today morning I was speaking to a friend of mine who runs an NGO in Assam. He came across a fisherman who caught some angel fish in Brahmaputra. Angel fish from Amazon in Brahmaputra, and they are breeding there. Okay, so be very careful. Don't take your aquarium fish and introduce. Okay, and check their dietary pattern. Okay, they may not be taking aquarium food very easily. Don't end up like I talked about the Dario. Don't get in a fish which will not take an aquarium food and you end up killing a species. Please don't do it. And lastly, do check out whether our species is endangered or not. It's our responsibility as hobbyists not to destroy the ecology. These two sites are very well documented, the IUCN site and the Indian Biodiversity site. These are the two sites I refer to. Whenever, mistakenly, I have also kept some endangered species, but I have made it a point when I came to know, I have stopped keeping them and I have discouraged people from keeping them also. And as I requested, I am sure we have a knowledgeable audience. We have many hobbyists. Please do take up some projects, of captive breeding. We all know that the Denison barb, which we used to export like anything, now Indonesia has, bred them. Okay, good thing they have done, I must say. Okay, so let's give it a try. Let's, we can take help from ichthyologists and let's try and breed them in captivity so that we don't, destroy the habitat. I think that's all I had to say. Nothing much. I hope.
Wonderful points, Gautam. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that knowledge, the experience, and of course, the word of caution. I mean, it's definitely something that we all need to consider. We all need to keep in mind if we're true lovers of the hobby and the planted aquariums and nature aquariums in nature. So I guess we're all on the same page where that is concerned. For the viewers, this is Bhargav. He's the ichthyologist. Now, we've got a lot of questions that have come in, Gautam. So I have, it's up to you whether you want to juggle it and shuffle it between both you experts that we've got over here. But people are looking for it from you. They've really enjoyed your session. There are a lot of questions coming up about the fish you have mentioned. Okay, so I'm going to send them out to you slowly. Take your time. We have, don't worry about time. We've got the tech team to extend the session. So just stay comfortable, answer as you please, and how you do it, how you do things, because that's what people want to know. Okay, so our first question is coming to you, Gautam. It's from Prashant Ravichandran. I hope I get the pronunciation of the scientific name right. It's Silohynchus species, stays small or grow quite big.
In the wild, they tend to grow big. Okay, it grows bigger than the Balitora species that I mentioned. But in captive, I have not seen them growing large. Maximum about 2 inches is what I have seen them growing.
Okay, thanks. The next one comes in from Mahin. Can you name some fishes from Western Ghats rivers which can be kept in a nature aquarium? Now, I know you probably covered some of these in your PowerPoint, so if you want to just quickly mention a few names, that's good to go.
Yeah, one that definitely comes from Western Ghats is Apethia setnai, the Narayan barb I talked about. It's a very peaceful barb. It can be kept in a planted tank. It also is an algae eater. Okay. As I said that, but you must introduce them little later into the scape, because once the plants are established, because unintentionally they end up pulling out some of the plants. The other fish which is not coming from maybe not Western India, maybe they are found Western Ghats, but definitely from Kerala and parts of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka is the Labuka Dadi Burchuri and Horadandia britanni. Fantastic schoolers. Okay, fantastic schoolers. Very, very hardy fish. Okay. As I said, the Dadi Burchuri tends to swim on the top, and Britanny in the bottom. Britanny is best kept in a nanoscape. I've kept the Dadi Burchuri. I have a 4-foot scape here. I've kept them there also. Okay, and this is a 3-foot tank where we have camera is not that good, but we have lots of Dadi Burchur and Horadandia in this tank.
Okay, all right. So that answers your question, Mahin, I hope. We've got Yatin Mistry. who would like some more insight on the puffer fish. So anything more you can add about the puffer fish, maybe 1 or 2 points?
See, first, Yatin, is that, one is, I don't know, when I have heard conflicting reports that they are endangered. Okay. But I have also heard that, while, they inundate in the canals, irrigation canals, in Kerala, it seems. And when water is pulled out or pumped out, I'm mentioning this for a reason. Many fish gets pulled out and they actually die. Okay. So I don't know whether it is really endangered, not endangered. But assuming for a sec that if it's not endangered, once you keep it in a tank, it's a brilliant fish to keep. But keep it in a species only tank. Okay. Create an aquascape meant for them. Okay. You also have to have a snail colony growing outside, because these guys will not take anything else apart from snails. You can try out brine shrimp and maybe the tubifex worms. I have seen what is his name? Oliver Knott. Oliver Knott, I've seen some of his video where he's feeding them on tubifex worms. But problem is that once you try to feed tubifex worms in an aquascape, worms will all go into the soil and they will create a mess of it. Okay. The way I kept them is that obviously I don't intend to put snails in my tank. I used to buy snails from the market. People also eat them, crush them and give it as a feed, and they used to take it very nicely. Initially, I was not able to. I also didn't know that without snails they will not take anything. Some of the fish died, and then I made it a point that I get snails, and then that's how I kept them.
Wonderful, wonderful. We all learn some way or the other. It's the experience that counts, So we've got one more question over here. It's a good question. It touches upon your last slide where you said throw caution. This comes in from Jasnam Singh. Don't you think that wild catching fish should be stopped or banned?
It's a question on which we can have a full day debate. Okay. I agree. As I said, that before you bring in any fish, first you see the IUCN status, whether it is in the least concern bracket. IUCN clearly mentioned it's a least concern. Means, they are available in plenty in the wild. Okay. And, people are maybe using it as an edible fish also. So anyway, you are catching them. If you go to the markets in Northeast, Bengal, you will see so many varieties, and they are sold like paws. Take 1 paw, 2 paw, and people are, eating that fish. The other thing is that I don't think aquarium industry is the biggest threat. As I talked, in North Bengal, what they are doing is that they are taking jute and they are putting into the water, because the jute will rot there as a processing. They are not using a processing plant meant for jute. So they are putting that jute in that river. And believe me, I think what that is doing in one season, it's killing so many species that even if we try to put a native fish in all the aquariums of India, I'm just throwing my mind out, it will not compensate. I think, yes, you must, I'm repeating again, you must look into the endangered species. For example, the green pipe fish. It's a completely endangered species. It's in IUCN red list. Okay, I have seen the habitat. Okay, but we didn't catch it. Barring those, okay, you can keep some of them. So it's not the aquarium industry. It's, I think, human grade. I showed some picture like what has happened to that lake. Now a multi-story is coming there. Who is to blame? Is the aquarium industry to blame? Rather, I believe if I take out some of this fish and I can make them thrive and I can make them breed in my aquarium, I'm at least helping that species to thrive. It's a debatable question, but that's my very honest answer. Okay, to this.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, it clearly shows your passion. That answer clearly shows your passion. So that's what we're looking for. Abu Bakr Siddiq.
I think Dr. Bhargav, would you like to add any point to this?
Obviously, totally it's all about management of ecology, nothing else.
Right.
So, there are certain research gap which still people are working on it. The majority of the ecologists. But it's all not only depends upon the government sector or from the institutional level. It has to be self-concern from each and everyone. So they have to take care of for they don't have to release the exotic species species into the wild. Even it's not only the fish, including the plants too. So there are even in the plants recently there is a invasive species as got into the wild in Kerala. So that's has created a major issue. No,
Very right. Very right. That's why that ADA has started this green.
green manner.
Green manners, right? Green manners, right?
Yeah.
Yes, campaign.
Thanks, Dr. Babu.
Yeah. So this here again is my friend. He sits next to me in office and we enjoy work together because you see what I'm learning. And everybody out there, now that's why you know I enjoy my work. Okay, we got another question from Abu Bakr. He says, is trico similar to cobalt gourami?
It is. But cobalt gourami has got more, it doesn't have that kind of stripes and patterns. It's more solid blue. Okay. And there are a lot of inbreeding also that has happened, captive breeding, which has enhanced the blue color in the cobalt gourami that is found in the hobby. But nothing can beat nature. And Trichogaster lalius, I think that's a brilliant. And there is another specimen called honey gourami, orangish yellow with a blue band. Beautiful. I am forgetting its name. Another gourami.
Actually, honey gourami. It's basically called as red lily.
Red lily, right, right.
So,
but I have seen not this red lily. I have seen one with blue body, yellow body with a blue underbelly.
No, it's all genetic, inbreeding. That's it. So it's all bred in Germany basically. So the native species is Trichogaster lalius, and the rest two are red lily and cobalt blue. It's all variant.
I will, I am getting into a discussion with Dr. Bhargav, but I'll end up sending you a species which is brown colored.
Okay.
With a brown stripe.
Okay. Just kindly share with me. I will check it.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Now you know where I have the fun. Question for Gautam from Atharva. Atharva Ture is from Bombay. So the fish name is Chana aristoni. Before it was called red mosaic. How to keep them? Can this be kept in bare bottom tank or will it require substrate? And what is the ideal temperature and tank size? So the fish again is Chana aristoni that he wants to know about.
You have to excuse me, Atharv. Honestly speaking, I'm not an expert in Chana. I have taken a note of it. Stephen, if you can send me this question, I'll ensure that I speak to some of these experts and I'll get back.
All right. So Atharva, you keep in touch with me. We'll get you your answer. All right. Ishmeet Singh is asking, sir, is there any other food that Dario will accept?
Not that I know of. I have seen them. They finally take Daphnia and brine shrimp. Okay, you can try out maybe. When I was a kid, I used to do this. You have this fish, which what do you call it? You dry the dried fish. Okay, in Bengali we call it shukno mach.
I think Bombay duck.
No, the fish, you dry it out. Okay.
Right fish.
And anyway, you take that fish, which you dry it out and then you make it into powder, very fine powder, and give it. I've seen them taking it at times. Okay, but not always. That's why Dario, you must have some live food source with you.
Yes. As you said, with experience, we all learn that way. So you've got a question coming in from a global participant. He's Louis E. I believe he's from South America. Are there any books or planning for a book about Indian fish and plants natural habitat?
While doing this, I have thought of it as a pet project to start writing a book or at least a blog. But Mr. Heiko Bleher has a book. He has written a very nice book on Indian native fish. You can check out Heiko's book also. It's pretty well documented. I must say.
So I guess you got a project on your hands because we're getting people asking that, about a book concerning this subject. So I think you're the man right now.
AD has to sponsor me for that.
Well, you have to give it back to all of us some way or the other. We're going to keep coming at you, Gautam. Okay. Ankit Prasad is asking, can we keep a high barb, I guess he means a high fin barb, which you covered, with tetra and cardinals, and how to get a high barb?
Absolutely no problem. It's a very, very peaceful fish. It will, all the barbs that I showed here, except Pythia sitnai, where it tends to become some nipping tendency. Hyphens you can keep in planted aquarium, no problem. How to get it? You have to talk to some of these traders, who are dealing with Indian fish, and I'm sure I think it will be available. Now, after this, a lot of people might get interested in dealing with them. But again, a word of caution, over exploitation must be avoided. Try and captive bred them and see what we can do.
So guys, remember, be responsible in your fish keeping business. And when I say business, I don't mean business for money, but your fish keeping business at home and what makes you happy with your tanks.
Right.
Okay, we have a question from Shehzad Kola, also from Bombay. This is, how big can the chana grow? Well, I guess he needs to be a little more specific, but if you can tell us a little bit about the different chanas and what size they get, what knowledge you have.
The chana bipuli that I showed you in this picture, normally when you collect them in the wild, we try to collect them small. Okay. Easy to acclimatize them. Bigger fishes, they tend to fight a lot. But the same chana bipuli that I showed, actually can grow up to 8 inches to 12 inches. Barkas I have seen, going almost up to 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and there are chana species available in Krishna River, okay, which is going close to 4 feet also. Very, very, so it depends on the species, and I think chana bleheri, a small cute fish which can be kept in planted tank, that doesn't grow very big, it tends to remain very small. Right?
Yes. What is that?
Dwarf snakeheads.
Dwarf snakeheads.
It comes under the dwarf category.
Okay.
So max to max, maybe around 26 to 28 centimeters is the max.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in that there are about 3 variants are again there. What you have shared, goldish as you said, red pattern, something.
Right.
Okay. So we have Ishmeet Singh again. Sir, can we find any other food that we can feed to a pea puffer if we do not have enough snails? Also, can you please tell us the fish which are compatible with the pea puffer?
See, don't keep a small fish with pea puffer. They will, it's not, I've kept them with guppies also. It's not that they are fish eaters by any means. You have to give them snails. If you don't, I have a tank here. I don't know whether...
Go ahead.
You see the 6 feet tank. I have pea puffers here. You can see cardinal tetras. You can see, I don't know whether it's,
we have a bit of a view. We can see the fish. We can see the fish.
It's a lot of variety there. Okay, it's a 6 feet, an ADA 180, 180S, I think. But what happens is that because, I have to introduce snails. Otherwise, I have seen them, it goes, and one day I saw that rainbow's, tail was nipped slightly. So that's the issue. Okay. But why not? Today, most people are telling that I don't want to use a TC plant and all. When you get the pot plants, anyway, you get lots of snail. So,
yeah.
But be very careful, Ishmael, about pea puffer. I think they are endangered. You have to be careful. I have stopped keeping them for them. If you are there here, and I'm keeping them happy, that's it.
A wonderful point to close it with on that question. Be careful because they're probably endangered. So do your research, guys, before you go in for your fish. We have a comment from Sriram, dedicated to you, Gautam. He says, great work, Gautam. Appreciate your effort in promoting Indian native species.
Thanks, Sriram.
Okay, we have Anish Garg. Do you use Indian fish in your scapes? I think you've answered that one already, but
here is it. It is. I don't know whether you can see it. This is the scape where we have used. This is a 90p ADA setup. So
that's just filled with Indian fish, right?
But the plants are from different. We have Glossostigma in the front. We have Cyperus, Helferi, Java Fern. Okay.
Yes, I think we can see that barb towards the left-hand side, which you were mentioning, that is turning red. And Andrew was telling you that is very rare to find. It's there in the left corner. There. He's come out from under the driftwood, right?
Right.
Great. Okay, so Anish, I hope that answers that for you. Jay Desai, which native fish can be found near Aravalli range of mountains and streams?
I think Dr. Bhargav has to help me. I am not aware of this.
I mean, I know the exact region.
Aravalli range of mountains.
Rajasthan. I'm not.
So good question. We will definitely
I'm not
work
sure.
on this. We'll definitely work on this, and we'll try and create a document wherein we get the answers to the questions that we haven't been able to answer. So we've got our work cut out for later. Carl Leitwhite. I believe he's from the European, one of the European countries. Do you believe that more can be done to conserve the natural environment in which we find these fish? And specifically, do you believe that conservation efforts are currently meeting the rate at which these habitats are destroyed?
Conservation efforts, no, at least not in India. I think lots can be done. Okay, number one. But what can we do as an aquarist? We are not scientists. Okay, we are not conservation specialists. But I think most of us, as hobbyists, we must make it a point to go to this habitat. We must take our kids there, as Andre was telling yesterday. You see, we have to first take them there to appreciate that habitat. What is there? Once they appreciate from a young age, okay. I'm working with an NGO where we are trying to talk about nature and nature aquarium and fish in schools. We are starting at the school level. It's important to catch them young. Okay. In India, I think, as I told, the jute industry, our economy has to improve. Jute is a good thing. But if government is promoting jute, that's fine. But then you have to also give us facility where the jute can be processed. If you end up in putting it in river, now we really can't do much. We can only mention it in forums like us. We can talk about it. That's why I said conservation effort. I think lots have to happen. But we will try to document them as much as possible and maybe take our kids to this kind of habitats to improve their appreciation of nature from when they are kids.
I'd just like to add to that, Gautam, as you mentioned, where the conservation is concerned, and yes, promoting the jute industry, jute, recycling and everything, it's good. But yeah, it's not good when it's at the expense of something else. In this case, the habitat of nature and the livestock and so on and so forth. So I'm sure we being the humans can make that segregation properly and do what we need to and, have both work together and work to the best of their abilities. I mean, let the habitat be. Have the jute industry also go good, but we need to, keep it away.
In fact, this Gario species I showed you, okay, I'll try to get a picture, okay. Once you take out the species from a water which has been poisoned with this, jute processing, the poor fish, the red, beautiful fish has got black spots, poisoning spots throughout its body. Aquarium industry can be blamed that you are over exploiting and all, but they are killing fish by millions.
Left, right and center.
Yes, we must increase the awareness.
Great point. Okay, quick question for you, Gautam, from Sri Ramakrishna. How do we follow you on social media if they want to know?
Okay, I have, Gautam Gupta, I have a Facebook page. I am not so, and I've got an Instagram page also. Also, I am a mentor to this organization, in Calcutta by name Ripples Nature Aquarium. We have a YouTube page by the name Ripples Nature Inspired Aquarium or Ripples Nature Aquarium. I try to do some videos there whenever, because I also work. I am working somewhere. Whenever I get time, I try to do that. You can follow me there. Good to hear that somebody wants to follow me. Encouraging.
I told you, you're the man of the moment. Okay. Amit wants to know, I wish to keep a small-sized fish in my 60p tank, preferably a species that loves to move in groups. Maybe a simple question, but please excuse me for that. I'm new to fish keeping and planted tanks.
No, absolutely. I think, there's nothing wrong. One species that is fantastic for a 60p, make it with hair grass and don't give red plants. Okay, you can put some, maybe not Cyperus elferi, maybe some Elocaris acicularis and some Anubias. Orarandia britanni from Kerala. Okay, it looks like a green rasbora. Beautiful fish, and schools very nicely also.
Okay, all right. He says colorful ones preferred. He sent it in later. So any tips on that?
Nabuka Dadi Burjudi in that case.
I had a feeling that was coming. Yes, yes.
Or even Daddy-o, if you can manage to get live food for them.
Yeah, because that is colorful, no doubt. Ishmeet Singh, can we keep Denisoni with discus fish, as I have seen many people keeping them together, but I personally think that it is not nice in mixing two fish of different habitats. What are your view on this?
Definitely, you should not. Denisoni is a fast-moving fish. Discus is a slow mover. Okay, that discus will get intimidated unless they are big in size, and your feeding habit, etc. Everything is very, very different. So there is no point in keeping discus and Denisoni together. I think people who try to keep them, I wish that you get bitten by a multi-tank syndrome soon, so that you can have more aquariums to keep fish.
Well said. Okay, Mayuk Das. The Caridina species Malaya whiteback shrimps are going extinct in the wild, as confirmed by Mr. by Mr. Andrew Rao. What is your opinion on that species?
Yes, I was speaking to Andrew about this species yesterday, Mayu. Okay, in fact, Andrew said yes, and we were discussing that can we create a breeding program. I think it can be bred very easily. The problem is that the whiteback, the particular habitat from where it comes, we are discussing, I'm sure the water has got something very specific, some mineral there, because otherwise it's actually a variant of the normal, the Caridina rainbow. In the other Caridina rainbow, when you take out, okay, they lose their color. This particular doesn't lose the color, and that's why people are so very interested. It is getting threatened. We might try to do some captive breeding, Mayuk. I'll be interested to talk about that.
Okay, there you go, Mayuk. So, and he also just a little while ago, Mayuk, Gautam shared his contact and about his Facebook page. So I guess something's going to happen. Gautam, again, you were worried about whether people are staying interested, whether they're enjoying the session. So this is Q&A session, but here's one more for you. Gautam Da, will you please make a video or documentary on all Indian native species, fishes, and detailed information so hobbyists get more knowledge and motivates them to keep Indian native species? Thanks for the wonderful session, Gautam Da.
I'm honored. Ripple's Nature Aquarium YouTube has got a couple of videos already. Maybe have a look, and I'll definitely try to do more.
So you guys got your stuff cut out. You know where you got to go looking for more stuff on Indian fish, and we're always here. Where can I learn? Just one moment. They're still rolling in the questions, Gautam, so I'm just making sure I'm not going to repeat anything, okay? Sir, can you please mention fish available in North India, Rajasthan, Gujarat side?
That's an area which I have not done much work, but North India, if you are talking about Himachal Pradesh and the river, streams, the tor species, the mahasir, okay, there are a lot of tor species available there which can be, but not suited for planted tank at all. Again, the question of endangerment comes in. There is one, tor species found in North Bengal or near Assam. It's called copper mahasir. Okay, that also is a beautiful fish. Again, not suited for planted tank. But Rajasthan and North India is an area which I have not done much work. I intend to do so.
Okay, great. We got a transparent shrimp from a shallow stream from Kerala. We need to identify them. Basil wants to know, that's what he says. So I'm guessing he wants to know what's the best way to identify a species if he picks it up like that.
You have to talk to an expert. I have a friend by the name Abhishek Malik. Abhishek has done a lot of work on thing, or Dr. Bhargav or ichthyologist can actually help. I am absolutely zero in identifying species. But if you can send me a picture, I can share it with in my group, and I can try and ID it for you.
So Basil, I hope you're listening. I hope you got those points.
Can I add a couple of points?
Yeah.
So there are paratype species. So the species which looks similar. So for that we cannot able to judge with scale count or normal level. So you have to go with genetic level identification. So earlier it was not there. I mean, recently we have equipped systems and other things in the place. So that phylogenetic tree and they will rearrange and will get the genetic sequence. So that's why the many of the species has redefined into the new category because of the advanced technology.
Thanks, Bhargav. Thanks. I think I missed this one. So one more question, Gautam. This is from Sourav Ghosh. How is the idea of keeping Danionella fish in an aquascape?
Sourav is now asking me questions that too in this forum. Danionella, priapus, or a great fish. I tried to keep them. It looks like a fairy. It looks like a white fairy, so thin and so slender. I made a mistake of keeping them in an aquascape with high flow. You cannot keep them in an aquascape with high flow. I learned it the hard way. Okay, you must keep it that's what makes it a little bit challenging, because in an aquascape, if you don't have much flow, you can have algae. And in fact, in their natural habitat, you have lots of algae because it's more of a stagnant water body. So I am yet to figure out a way to successfully keep them, and maybe I can discuss with Sourav later on how to keep them in a better way.
Okay. I think this will be, we are coming close to the end, or rather one of the last questions. Do we have any more questions, guys? This one is for you, covering a fish that you covered in your presentation. This is coming in from Khaja Mohammed. He asked, do Sucatios survive in high CO2 levels?
See, CO2 is not a problem. The Sucatio and Balitora, let me tell you, the problem is that Sucatio comes from a place where there is no flow. If you see its gills, my friend was telling me, its gills are designed for water where it's less flow, so that it can take oxygen out of it. Whereas Balitora gill is designed in such a way that it can take more oxygen out of it. Now see, CO2 is not the problem. The problem is that any fish will not survive in an environment where there is high CO2. Okay, that means that there is very less plant, or the plants are not able to take up the carbon dioxide. Okay, yeah. Please understand that in nature, like a lot of people ask me that, why do I have to give, I'm just slightly digressing from this point, but this is important to know. Why do I have to give artificial CO2 in a planted tank? In nature, who gives CO2 underwater? Nobody gives CO2. It's a very pertinent point, isn't it? So what happens is that if you see this kind of habitat where you have got soil and lots of vegetation going down, as a part of the bacterial activity, a lot of carbon gets actually generated. So, but Sucatio is doing well there because it has so much plants. The plants should be there to take up the carbon dioxide. So it's not about high CO2, it's about whether the plants are capable to take up the CO2 or not. If they are not, whether it is Sucatio, whether it's cardinal tetra, whatever fish, they will die.
Absolutely correct.
So yeah, that's all. Yeah. That's what I can say actually.
Yeah, that's a good, good point. So in the wild, dissolution of carbon dioxide, depends upon the surface area. So in the wild, it's a huge surface area. CO2 dissolution will be from the surface will happen. But when it comes to the control system or the closed system, we have to do it in have to provide a supplementary, because it's a less surface area. There is no point getting a dissolution of CO2. So that's why we need to supplement it as a CO2 as a supplement in the planted tank.
Right.
Well said, Bhargav. Good point. I mean, you covered the part because we're all doing it in tanks. So that's a good point you covered, So when we're doing it in our tanks, we need to do what is required to mimic what Mother Nature does outside. Definitely. So that's why the dedication and the commitment is required. Another question from Yatin. Are Indian shrimps available commercially?
They are. There are people who are dealing with Indian shrimps. But as I said, wild-caught shrimps, you have to have acclimatizing protocol. You must be familiar with acclimatizing protocol, the water chemistry and all. Otherwise, you may not be able to keep them alive for long. So be very, you have to be a little bit knowledgeable, about that.
Okay, so I've chosen the last two questions, okay? Now, the last question, I'm keeping it particularly for the last, and you'll know why that is, Gautam. So the second last one comes in from Amit Chawla. Sir, you just answered me. Name of the fish that moves in groups in 60p tank. Any algae eater that can live peacefully with them.
The Sucatio will live absolutely peacefully. Sucatio doesn't harm any fish whatsoever. No way. No problem at all.
So this is like the Indian version of an autosynclus. Absolutely peaceful.
Very peaceful. Very peaceful.
Wonderful.
But doesn't make good flow. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. Now the last one is not exactly a question. It's a request that's come in from a couple of participants. Particularly right now I'm seeing Rajesh, Ayappan and Ankit Prasad. Can Gautam Da show us his aquarium, as he mentioned keeping Indian species in his PPT, and show us the aquariums at his gallery? So that's why I kept it for the last. You can just raise your laptop a little bit if you can. Just show us your aquariums. They want to see ripples and where you're sitting.
See, I tried to connect my DSLR. I'm not that. I'll try my best. See, can you see this?
Yeah, so guys, this is an ADA.
It's just coming out. Okay. Yet to come out fully.
So as much as Gautam Da did something on fish for us, he is just as enthusiastic about his plants in his tank. This, I believe, Gautam mentioned is an ADA Cube Garden 180F because it's a little low in height, if I'm correct.
Yes, it's actually the Slimline series which has been discontinued.
Okay.
This was the first prize in TGISE. My friend Devraj Ghosh got it as a prize, and because he was not able to keep it in his house, it's a big tank, so I am still keeping it for him. It actually belongs to Devraj, but the scaping has been done by my team out here. Okay.
You're a lucky man, Gautam.
And this is I don't know whether this is a 120H.
Okay, wonderful.
My hand on a Brazilian style scape. This is an old tank. Maintenance has not been very good, but it's nevertheless. That's why I want to learn from Luca and few tips from him actually. Okay, and these are some small terrariums that we have. Is it visible?
Yes, absolutely.
Some small terrariums that we have, and this is also. Is it visible?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
This is
bring it a little lower. Little lower.
You can see the purple crab sitting on the branch.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's visible.
Little lower, Gautam. Lower the camera. Yes, now we can see it perfectly. Just hold it there.
That's the crab sitting on the branch. Okay. So that's more like it. There are some small paludariums also here. All DIY. I have not used ADA paludariums. This is one. Some ferns and some danios here actually. So that's like it. I have a section out where we have Indian fish and other thing, but
Okay.
I would request you guys to come down to Calcutta. Most welcome. Please come and see. I'll be honored to have you guys here and see my gallery.
All right, Gautam. Well, yeah, I think that's the end of the questions. Thanks for the tour. And I mean, I can't thank you enough, or we all can't thank you enough for the session that you covered and the points, the subject, the content, everything. It was just wonderful, interactive. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please stick around. There's more of the lovely things we've got set up for the program. You know what's coming up. Everybody's waiting. But don't think that they didn't, were not excited about your session, because they were. And from what we're seeing, people have really enjoyed it. The knowledge you've given us, I mean, me personally too. So thank you once again. Thanks to your team out there. Thanks to everybody that got things set up. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Stick around for the NAF.
Thanks, I think, Stephen, and thanks a lot, Adib, for giving me this opportunity. I think initially I was a little reluctant, but then he finally convinced me, and I think it was a fantastic session. I really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot and all the best. waiting to see.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yes. Yes. Thanks so much, Gautam. Okay, guys. So that was a pretty good session. Very interactive. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm guessing you guys are going on some adventures looking for fish. Please go ahead, do that. Keep in mind all the points that Gautam mentioned, especially